everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Missa and today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to recreate Meghan Markle's makeup look with a bit of a kind of spin on it. I do add a bit more highlight and things than I think she's actually wearing on the big day, but I've kept everything very natural, very moisturized, a little bit kind of highlighted, a very simple eye and a very nude kind of your lips but better colour. I was so excited for the royal wedding. I love Meghan Markle after watching her in Suits. I also love Prince Harry. He's definitely the best looking prince that we have. And yeah, I love weddings in general. I think weddings are such special, beautiful, happy occasions. They just bring me so much joy, even if it's not my wedding. I'll still cry. I'll cry at anybody's wedding. When I watched my cousin Maggie get married, I was bawling. When I got married, I was bawling and I had tears in my eyes watching Megan walk down the aisle. I thought it was so lovely. This isn't actually my wedding dress. This is a dress that I bought off eBay for testing cheap eBay wedding dresses, but I think the top of it looks really nice and really fits the theme. I'm also wearing my own tiara and jewellery and things. I can't find my veil. I don't ever know what happened to it, so I can't wear that, but I think you're getting the overall kind of bridal effect. Please do subscribe before you watch, give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. I would love that. Also come and follow me on Instagram. It's just Makemeupmissa as well. And if you want to see how I got this very bridal Meghan Markle bridal look, also great if you're getting married or going to a wedding, then please just do keep on watching. So here we are then. I have a completely clean bare face. I have my brows on and I've tried to do them a lot more naturally than I usually do. I think they're still a bit more bold and thick than Meghan's actually are, but my brows, they have to be done in a kind of certain way or it just looks a bit funny. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is MAC Strobe Cream, because as I'll say throughout this video, she's not wearing very much makeup at all, or what looks like very little makeup. However, her skin is definitely glowing and very pretty. So this MAC Strobe Cream is a really good buy if you're looking for something that's just going to give your skin a little bit of luminosity, but it looks really natural on the skin as well. I wore this under my makeup on my wedding day. I didn't wear a primer. I wore MAC Strobe Cream. And it's just going to add that, yeah, lovely luminosity to the skin. My skin goes a bit red when I apply kind of skincare, but that will settle down. Obviously, I am not of Meghan's complexion, so this is just going to have to be kind of for pale skin, but my kind of interpretation. So the next step is foundation. Now, she could probably be wearing like no foundation. I imagine she's actually wearing foundation, but the effect is not at all something of a heavy base, which I think we were expecting. She doesn't actually wear a lot of makeup anyway. So I'm gonna mix, and you might be a bit alarmed, I'm gonna mix my Dermacol, which is known for being like the most coverage you could ever get in a foundation, but I'm gonna mix a tiny bit of this in with my Decleor Hydra Floral Moisturizer, because I still want that glow and that sheen to my skin, but I want a tiny bit of coverage. And if you know me, then you know I like coverage. I like, you know, Nikkie Tutorials cake face makeup. That is not at all what Meghan has gone for, obviously. And it's not something you would have expected her to go for. I did expect her actually to be wearing more makeup than she was, but there we go. That's what princesses do. I am literally going to take the tiniest amount of this Dermacol. I've got pretty bad skin at the moment, so I will probably have to kind of spot conceal in certain areas. That's probably the smallest amount of foundation I've ever put on my face. And I'm just going to blend all of this out and in together using my beauty blender. Probably even use my fingers, to be honest, but I hate foundation-y fingers. I don't know about you. I want my skin to still be skin and look like skin. The reason I picked my Dermacol is because it actually has an incredibly dewy finish, and she's got very dewy skin, not super dewy. And I can tell you, she does not even have any kind of visible highlighter on, which I think looks just really nice. So I think from this distance you can see my skin has a glow and it looks a lot more even. But if I come up a bit closer, hopefully you can see my skin still looks like skin. You can still see some of my blemishes poking through. And I've not got a cake face kind of, just don't have a cake face level of foundation on my skin, which I'm loving. I am going to conceal my under eyes though. I'm going to use my Revolution Pro Full Cover because this, although it's a full coverage concealer and I'll only use a tiny bit, it's got quite a dewy finish to it. So it's not going to add a huge amount of mateness to my skin, which I really don't want. I'm really using just the smallest amount. And I'm taking that right into the inner corners where we want brightness. And then I'll go a tiny bit around my nose, just where I tend to get red throughout the day. And then I'm going to pinpoint conceal like my major kind of blemishes, because although we want to see skin, we don't want kind of spots showing through, preferably. And I'll just use my sponge again and just blend that out. And I'm still keeping that kind of dewiness on my skin, but just getting rid of the kind of worst offenders, such as little spots and kind of major hyperpigmentation that I've got. And I'm going to use a touch of my Laura Mercier translucent powder, because I do need to kind of set around my eyes and just in my T-zone, just a smidge, like just a smidge. Because I get creases under my eyes and I don't really want that. You don't want creases on your wedding day. I'm going to tap that lightly on. I don't want a build-up of powder anywhere. I don't want obvious powderedness on my face, but just taking down the shine a tiny bit in my T-zone and then making sure mostly around my eyes is set. Now in terms of her kind of face makeup, in terms of like contouring and bronzing, pretty much not there, to be honest, when you look at her. However, I need to add a touch just to kind of warm up my skin a little bit, because it is looking very kind of one-dimensional, although it's got a lovely dewiness. I'm going to do a really small touch of cream contouring because it's going to look a lot more natural than powder contouring, just because a cream tends to sink into the skin more beautifully and just look more natural than if you just layer powders. I'm going to use my new favourite cream contour kit. This is by Mayron and it's the Contour and Highlight palette, and it has 12 gorgeous shades, and I'm going to use a really light one. I'm going to use this one here and just add a touch, even the one above that, just add a touch of contour just to my cheekbones and then a little bit around my forehead, just because I've got a big forehead, and a little bit on my jaw, just for some definition. Blend that out just where I've put it. I'm not wanting to kind of smear it all over my face. And then I'll go back in with my beauty blender that has kind of remnants of moisturiser and foundation on it, and just pat this out. Make sure it's incredibly well blended. Imagine having unblended makeup, being Meghan Markle. I definitely didn't cream contour on my wedding day. I went very, very basic with my makeup, which kind of surprises a lot of people when they kind of see the makeup that I do now. But yeah, I went incredibly natural. I wore a bright pink lipstick to match my bright pink shoes, but even in photos it doesn't even come across as bright. I'm going in with a pinch of bronzer again, just to warm up my skin a little bit. I'm going to actually use my Bourjois chocolate bronzer because this one's very light and quite sheer, and I really don't want to pack on, you know, heaps of bronzer. Just kind of patting that on where I cream contoured. I feel quite regal with my hair like this and this white dress. I honestly can't even really see any blush on Megan, but because she has a naturally deeper skin tone than me, I think I can get away with adding a touch of peach to my cheeks, because she's definitely more peachy and bronze than pink looking on her wedding day. So I'm gonna grab a peach blush. Let me find what one I would like to use. I'm very ill prepared. I'm gonna use my ABH blush trio. This is in Peachy Love. It just looks like this, and I'm gonna use a tiny bit of this shade here. It looks a bit scary in the pan, but honestly on your cheeks it's just gorgeous. I am gonna take off most of the excess, and that's just gonna sit really nicely with that bronzer that we used and the contour, because they're all in the same kind of colour family. So not too much, but just a nice hint of peach. And like I said, she didn't really have any visible highlight on at all, but I want to add just a tiny bit, just because it's a nice addition if you are getting married in the kind of sunnier weather, or you have a nice sunny day. It just catches the light really beautifully. I'm going to use a tiny bit of my Benefit What's Up. Is it What's Up? Yeah. And I'm just warming that up on my finger and on the back of my hand, because I want very, very little product. And I'm just going to pat that just on the high points of my face, just so there on the cheek, just to bring in a nice subtle hint of highlight. If we layered on a powder highlighter right now, I just don't think it would look right unless you had the most subtle powder highlight. Maybe like the Hourglass ambient lighting powders. I'm going to use one of those in a minute. And that's pretty much skin finished. Very natural, radiant and glowing, but still skin. You know, I can see some of my blemishes and I'm not mad about it, because I just think it looks really natural and just really lovely. I'm going to take a big powder brush and my Hourglass Iridescent Strobe Light, which you can see I've used and loved. This is a finishing powder, and it's got a very, very subtle sheen to it. And I'm just gonna pat that on pretty much all over my face, and it's just gonna add a tiny bit of sheen. I mean, this is very subtle, but in photographs it picks up really, really beautifully. Take that down my neck a little bit as well. But as a bride, you definitely want your makeup to last all day as much as possible. Of course, you always bring some with you to do touch-ups. I brought my lipstick and a powder. I think that's all I brought. So I'm going to use a setting spray, and it is rumoured that this is one that she has been using and probably used on her big day. This is the iconic London Prep Set Glow Spray, and this is the Water Mist in Original. So if I give this a good shake, you'll see it just swirls really beautifully, and this complements my skin tone really well. I'm just going to spray this on. And that's going to lock my makeup in place, but also add another bit of subtle sheen. Now, I actually think I've gone a lot more highlighted than she has, but I am kind of doing this for me and how I would do it, and also just as inspiration for other people. Moving on to eyes. Megan's eyes were very simple. I don't even know if she had eyeshadow on, or if she just had kind of smudged out dark brown eyeshadow as like liner. I'm gonna do a tiny bit of eyeshadow just because I think I need a bit of eyeshadow. I'm actually gonna grab my Tammy Times Revolution palette just because it has the right tones in it. It's also very affordable, easy to get, and I'm gonna grab, I think I'll mix these two kind of bottom middle ones just on my brush, and I'm just gonna pop that all over my eyelid and blend it into the crease a little bit, but really she had pretty much nothing on. She also doesn't have anything on her lower lash line. I noticed not even mascara or any kind of shadow or anything. And I'm gonna just grab a tiny bit of one of the gold shimmer shades and pop that on my inner corner. Just because I don't think you should ever really forget inner corner highlight, because it really opens up your eyes. And then I'm gonna take like a liner brush, and I'm gonna take a darker brown from the palette, probably that shade there, Adventure, because it did look pretty dark and smoky quite close to her lashes. And I'm just gonna run that along my lash line at the top. She didn't have a hint of a wing or anything. but she definitely had probably a kohl pencil, I imagine, smudged out along her top lash line. And I'm just gonna smudge that out with a clean brush. See, that's still very, very natural, but a bit more defined now on my top lash line. So I'll do that quickly to the other eye. And then I'm gonna curl my lashes. What pathetic lashes I have. And then I definitely need a waterproof mascara. I'm gonna use the Collection Volume Max Waterproof Mascara. So natural, and I do really like it. I am gonna add a half lash to the outer corners of my eyes if I can find them. This is actually a pair of lashes from Cheryl Cole, not personally, but one of her pairs with Eyelure. And I don't want a lot of volume, I don't want a lot of length, I just want a bit of lift on my outer corner. And I'm actually gonna apply this under my natural lashes because you don't want your lash band to show on your wedding day. Megan might have had individual lashes on. I couldn't really see that well, but she certainly didn't have a strip lash on. And yeah, just by having it under your actual lash line, there's no hint of band showing and it can actually look super natural. And that little hint of a lash just on the outer corners just opened up my eyes a bit and given them a bit more lift on that outer corner. Now, if we move into lips, which is our kind of last stage, I'm actually looking at her right now. They're currently in their horse procession and waving at everyone. She looks so beautiful. She's wearing a very nude lip that really complements her skin tone. So it's got an ever so slightly peachy pink kind of base to it. I've got this Ben Nye Studio Color All for One Lip Colors palette, and I'm gonna pick one of these and put this on my lips. I think I'll actually I'm gonna layer this third color here, which is called Blushable, with this first one, which is called Nudie, which I just dunked my finger in. I'm gonna use a Ben Nye lip brush. She's definitely gone for a your lips but better kind of color, so she's just kind of enhancing her natural lips and their color. It's definitely a little too dark for my skin tone in terms of like a very nude natural one, so I'm gonna just press a little bit of this first shade, like I said, just over the top, just to bring it down a little bit. I'm just going in with a tiny bit of clear lip gloss. I'm just going to pat that over, just to kind of go with the sheen of my skin. And I don't want a hint of kind of matte lips in sight, to be honest. To be honest, I think that's it. Is that me done? Can't be me done. That's really the makeup done. I just need to add my finishing touches. This is, of course, the tiara I wore on my wedding day. And a tiara really makes you feel like a princess. Here we are then, this is my finished recreation, kind of my take on Meghan Markle's bridal look, but also a really beautiful, simple but elegant, clean, fresh bridal look that if you're getting married, maybe this will give you some inspiration, or if you're even a wedding guest, or if even you've just got a nice party to go to at some point. This is very fresh, youthful and lovely makeup. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, maybe seeing how I would kind of do a bridal look on myself. If I was to get married again, I probably would still keep it very simple. I'm hardly going to do like a massive cut crease or anything. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope for all of you that always ask me to do a more natural look, I hope you enjoyed this as well. Just imagine me not in a white dress and a tiara and just a t-shirt, and then you go, natural look. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Also leave me a comment down below. I love replying to all of my comments. and I really hope that I'll get to see you in my next video. Bye. Or hold on.